Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a truly remarkable story for you, one that proves heroes come in all shapes and sizes sometimes. They even have 4 paws and a tail. This is the story of Rusty, the ginger cat who saved a farm. Our story begins at Willow Creek Farm, a beautiful, sprawling piece of land run by the Miller family. For generations, the Millers had poured their heart and soul into this farm. It was their home, their livelihood, and their legacy. At the heart of the farm family was a scruffy, one-eared ginger tomcat named Rusty. Rusty wasn't a fancy pedigree. He was a stray who had wandered onto the farm as a skinny kitten and decided to stay. Old Man Miller, the family patriarch, had a soft spot for him, and soon, Rusty became the farm's unofficial guardian. Rusty was a character. He spent his days patrolling the fields, his tail held high like a furry flag. He'd sunbathe on the porch, chase butterflies with the Miller children, and keep the barn mice in check. He was more than just a pet. He was a silent, watchful member of the family, woven into the very fabric of life at Willow Creek. The children adored him, and even the gruff farmhands would save a scrap of their lunch for the little ginger shadow who followed them around. Life was peaceful, simple, and good, but as we all know, peace can be fragile. And a storm was brewing on the horizon, one that threatened to wash away everything the Millers held dear. That year, the weather turned against them. A long, unforgiving drought settled over the region. The once lush green fields turned a dusty brown, and the vibrant creek that gave the farm its name dwindled to a mere trickle. The crops withered under the relentless sun, and the animals grew thin. Financial pressure mounted on the Millers like the dust settling on their fields. They took out loans, sold off equipment, and worked from sunrise to long after sunset. But it felt like they were fighting a losing battle against nature itself. As the farm struggled, so did Rusty. The mice he used to hunt grew scarce, and his own ribs began to show beneath his ginger fur. He could sense the tension in the air, the worried whispers of the Millers late at night. He'd sit on the porch, his one good ear twitching, listening to the strained conversations about mounting debts and the possibility of foreclosure. The farm wasn't just a place of comfort for Rusty. It was his entire world. The thought of losing it was as terrifying for him as it was for the family who had taken him in. He felt their anxiety as if it were his own, and a new kind of determination began to stir within him. One sweltering afternoon, as Rusty was making his rounds near the old, dilapidated part of the barn, something caught his eye. He noticed a strange, oily shimmer on the ground near a pile of forgotten junk. His sharp cat senses, honed by years of survival, told him this was something unusual. Driven by curiosity, he started digging. His paws worked tirelessly, scraping away the dry, packed earth. He dug with a frantic energy he hadn't felt in months, ignoring the heat and his own exhaustion. He didn't know what he was looking for, but some deep instinct told him it was important. After what felt like hours, his claws hit something hard and metallic. He kept digging, clearing the dirt away to reveal the edge of an old, rusted metal box. It was heavy and locked, buried deep in the ground. Rusty, being a cat, couldn't open it, of course, but he knew who could. With a loud, insistent meow, he raced back to the farmhouse. He ran to Old Man Miller, rubbing against his legs and meowing urgently, then darting back towards the barn, looking over his shoulder to make sure he was being followed. At first, Mr. Miller just thought Rusty was hungry or wanted attention, but the cat's persistence was unusual. Rusty was practically pulling at his trousers, his meows growing more desperate. Intrigued by this strange behavior, Mr. Miller decided to follow. Rusty led him directly to the spot, circling the patch of disturbed earth and letting out a triumphant cry. Seeing the exposed corner of the metal box, Mr. Miller's curiosity piqued. He grabbed a shovel and, with a bit of effort, unearthed the entire chest. It was an old strong box, the kind his own grandfather might have used. With a crowbar and a bit of muscle, He pried the rusty lock open. Inside, protected by oilcloth, was a stack of documents and, to his astonishment, a collection of gold coins. They were old, but they were real. The documents were deeds and savings bonds, carefully preserved by his grandfather decades ago, a forgotten family emergency fund, hidden away and lost to time. It was a small fortune, more than enough to pay off their debts and get the farm through the drought. As Mr. Miller stood there, stunned, holding a gold coin in his trembling hand, Rusty simply sat down, licked his paw, and began to groom himself, as if to say, "My work here is done." The news spread through the family like wildfire. There were tears, hugs, and overwhelming relief. The dark cloud of worry that had hung over Willow Creek Farm finally lifted. They had been saved, not by a miracle from the sky, but by the instinct and loyalty of their scruffy, one-eared cat. In the weeks that followed, the farm came back to life. The Millers paid their debts, bought new feed for the animals, and invested in a better irrigation system to combat future droughts. And Rusty, he was hailed as the hero he was. He was given the best spot by the fire, a never-ending supply of fresh cream, and all the chin scratches a cat could ever want. He was no longer just the farm cat. He was Rusty, the savior of Willow Creek. Rusty's story reminds us that you should never underestimate the quiet observers in your life. It shows that family isn't just about blood. It's about loyalty and love. A stray kitten, welcomed into a home, repaid that kindness 1,000 times over when it mattered most. He proved that even the smallest creature can have the biggest heart, and that sometimes salvation comes on for quiet paws. Thank you so much for joining me for this incredible story today. If it touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Until next time, take care and remember to be kind to the animals in your life. You never know when one might just be a hero in disguise.